Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, live the life we love. You know, for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to switch away from my sharing the teachings of Abraham and sharing the teachings from the Awakening of Joy Masters and move towards another motivational teacher who's been influential for me. His name is Emmett Fox. He was certainly in the early 1900s a continuation of the power of positive thinking as exemplified by Norman Vincent Peale, and that's the legacy of the New Thought people from the 1800s, and some people call it The Secret, which was popular a few years ago. It's all the same teaching taking different forms, shape-shifting as they go. And they would say the reason why we don't demonstrate our understanding of the law of belief is that, first of all, we're using willpower. Forcing things through your will is not the scientific way, these people would say, you get the demonstration. That when you make a treatment, which is using your thoughts about any given condition, the whole idea is to be effortless and to allow things to happen. As in the Bible, when they say, God says, let there be light. If you let it or allow it, then it comes through. And also you focus on the thoughts you want, not the thoughts you don't want. Thoughts that disappear from your mind can no longer demonstrate in form. So one of the problems is we push out against things, or we think that the answers are outside ourselves, as if the door is going to open by pushing out against it. But the whole idea is the door opens inwards. That's why when they yell panic in the theater, the exit doors push out, because that's the natural tendency, is to push away or try to get rid of. So the first thing you want to do is realize willpower is not a treatment, because willpower means you're trying to do it yourself and you leave spirit out. Once you realize that you're more than equal to anything you have to face with your own courage and your own faith, you learn not to be an idolater. An idolater is a person who worships difficulties. You find that solving problems is one of the things that develops this faculty inside yourself rather than wishing you had no problems. So to that extent, I want to remind you that I am a yoga provocateur. I don't think that yoga is just an aspirin for your mind, and the vision of yoga is something that's much bigger than the vision that most of our society is looking at. One of the things that yoga does is it brings back enthusiasm as a way of living. And although in my early days I took so many drugs that it pickled my brain, still what I learned is that you have to practice. What do you practice? Some kind of art form. Because whatever you practice, you'll get good at. In fact, you'll get so good at it, you may end up teaching other people how to practice it, or making it as a livelihood, even if it's just something that begins as a hobby and something that you really love. But if you do this, what you'll find is, number one, you hate dogma. You hate anybody who tries to convince you with certitude that this is the way, especially the only way. So you really have a bullshit indicator for fundamentalism. You combat demoralization because you're doing something that fires those feel-good chemicals inside yourself. You strengthen your therapeutic relationships with anybody who's willing to help you hold space for what you're carrying within yourself, and also you hold space for what other people are carrying within themselves. You inspire yourself with expectations of support in the way you put yourself out there and the way you support other people. You know it's possible because you're living it. And that's what provides new learning experiences. It's always possible to rewire and create new neural synapses. And when you do that, it arouses emotion. You know you're on the right track, and you can feel the joy or the positivity. That's almost always a sign that you know you're doing it well. And of course, if you do that, it will enhance a sense of self-mastery or self-efficacy. You feel like you have some power, like you have some clout, that what you do makes a difference. And then life is always affording you opportunities for more rehearsal and more practice. So I hope that you find your way to tap into your right brain and explore all those possibilities and let your left brain do its job of trying to reduce everything so it can, to the best of its ability, grasp its certainties, even in a world that's filled with uncertainties. So don't be afraid to be a deviant from the mass. I like to think that those of us who want to flatter ourselves as being the spearhead of the future, the precursors of what's to come, the preview of coming attractions, even if it means somehow it seems like we're a mutant, right? We're a mutation. We're not going to follow the old way. We're going to provide a new way for people to be. See you there.